Adam Taxin with Rabbi Nochum Kurinsky of Chabad The Beaches in Ponte Vedra Beach. Bart, I pronounced it right now?
I think so.
Okay. Which you can look online and you can find online at chabadbeaches.com. We're talking about the Jewish holiday of Tu B'Shvat, which is, what date was it again? It's coming up soon.
January 14th and 9th.
Yeah, that's Wednesday, January 14th, Thursday, January 15th. It's the holiday celebrating trees, which is kind of funny this year given the record low temperatures all around the U.S. We are recording this on January 6th, so maybe it won't be the case on Tu B'Shvat. Interesting time to be celebrating the holiday for trees. Tell us about it. Tell the layman, non-Jewish or Jewish, who doesn't know much about the holiday, please.
All right, well, the Talmud tells us actually the year, the calendar works in several different cycles, and several different, what the Talmud calls Rosh Hashanahs, New Year's. So there are four different New Years, and famously there's Rosh Hashanah, the New Year, our New Year, which is the first of Tishrei. That's the Jewish New Year, we build a shofar, and then there's the New Year for the actual New Year. The months begin in the same month as Passover. But this month of Tu B'Shvat is the month of...
What's the fourth, by the way?
The fourth is for tithes.
For what?
It's for tithes.
When's that?
I think it's Sivan.
So sometime in late spring.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Late spring, but it's a New Year cycle. So when you're counting out your crops, there's a certain time to allocate before, so that when you go up to the temple, you're able to give what you need. So, but this is a New Year of trees, which is a funny kind of New Year. Like Adam said, it's in the middle of the winter, and the reason is in Israel, it's the very, very first, according to the Israeli climate, Tu B'Shvat, it's right at the beginning of the very, very first trees start to produce fruit, or beginnings of producing fruit, I guess sap or whatever it is, the beginning, the very first things that they do. And some people call it the Jewish Arbor Day. I don't know if that's accurate description, but the idea is that it's a certain holiday that's associated with it's a new cycle of fruit trees. And we know that's very important in Judaism, because one of the beauties of the land of Israel is that it has 7 special grains of fruits that are associated with the land.
Very sure I have them. It's wheat, figs, dates, grapes, olives, pomegranates, and barley.
Right, very good. They all said, and actually there are some people now in Israel, some people from our congregation that are there now, and it's unbelievable. The dairy and it's a land of milk and honey, so you really have, those fruits are really delicious. And it's our custom that in those days, that day on Tu B'Shvat, we make sure to eat some fruit, some of those 7 special species, and even nicer if it came from Israel.
Also one that you haven't had before. For a long time, right?
Right, which is a special mitzvah. We make a blessing of Shehachiyanu where we thank God for something new that we haven't had before. And the spiritual reason, the spiritual significance behind it is the Torah tells us, "Ki Adam eitz hasada," man is like the tree in the field. Now we're actually compared to the tree. Just like a tree, when you go and you tend to a tree. And you work on it. First you plant it, and so you work on the seeds, and then you plant it, and you water it, and you nurture it, and a year passes, and 2 years pass, and 3 years pass, and nothing. You get nothing. 4th year comes, the tree starts to blossom. 5th year, typically some trees at least start to produce. I say some trees because I have trees in my garden that haven't produced in 10 years. I don't know, but
this weather you're having, that part isn't going to help.
Right. But there's and really it's a very profound lesson for us. We speak about Jewish education. We speak about ourselves, our own nurturing ourselves. And sometimes, things happen in a process. They happen slowly, and you work on yourself every day. You try to improve, and you have a person has certain inclinations, certain addictions, certain bad habits. And we would like to change things overnight. We live in a generation where we want things to just suddenly get better, suddenly improve. But the truth is that the Torah tells us that there's a gradual process of improvement. You work every day, you work on yourself a little bit. One day goes by, another day goes by, another day, and suddenly you look back over the period of a long period of time, and you see you've actually grown a lot, you've changed a lot. And so that's really the significance to us. It's a lesson for us that. If we want real change, if we real genuine progress in our lives, we really want to become better people in a spiritual sense or an emotional sense or in our relationships with other people, we need baby steps, small steps, one at a time, gradual over a long period of time. that really ends up having the biggest effect.
Let me ask one question. That would have been a good way to end, but I do have a question that maybe people are wondering. It's a minor holiday, if even that, but there are holidays such as Passover, Shavuot, Rosh Hashanah, which are biblically mandated. They're right there in the 5 books of Moses, and there are rabbinic holidays which are based on things in Jewish history that came after the giving of the Torah, Purim, Tisha B'Av, Hanukkah. Where is the basis for Tu B'Shvat to become a holiday?
Well, the halachic basis for it is in the Talmud, the Tetrach of Rosh Hashanah. That's the halachic basis. But of course, the Talmud wasn't written in a vacuum, and it wasn't an invention. The Talmud is not Jewish law invented by the rabbis. The Talmud is simply a recording of Jewish law as was handed down from Moses at Mount Sinai and discussed over many hundreds and thousands of close to 1,500 years, discussed and written and placed in the Mishnah, and then eventually packaged as we know in the Talmud is a really recorded discussion of law, of Torah law and rabbinic law. So in the Talmud it discusses the whole idea of Tu B'Shvat as being Rosh Hashanah, but the idea of a man being compared to the tree is biblical. According to man, man is a tree.
The only other question I have then is, if it wasn't based on historical events, why would God not have just commanded us to commit to have the holiday of Tu B'Shvat?
Well, that's a lot of the. That's a good question. It's a question in general about Judaism, about why certain things are commanded and why certain things are what we call rabbinic. And really, Judaism is a hybrid. It's a religion, as God gave us the Torah Mount Sinai. It's a hybrid between two facets. You have the biblical side, which is absolute, given, ordained by God, given to us. And you have the rabbinic side, which is kind of our contribution to Judaism. And what God really wants is this hybrid. Judaism is really a hybrid of rabbinic and biblical. It's a hybrid of our input and God's input. Even our calendar is a hybrid of both. So it's really something that's true with all of Judaism, not just this holiday.
What's your favorite fruit, by the way?
Question. Mango.
Mangoes are pretty good. Yeah, often for me is, what have I not had for a long time? They're all pretty good.
That's right. Yeah. Well, mangoes also they associate with certain foods associated with different times, and I had a really good time in South Africa. They used to sell mangoes on the street, very cheap. So
we used to buy. What's local tends to be pretty good, as I'm sure you know here in Florida.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, thank you. Happy Tu B'Shvat.
Thank you too.